are listening to the Balancing Act podcast. Here's your hosts, Jamie Wonko and Joe Vitale.
Hey, guess what?
What?
Hey, we're officially recording at long last. What's up?
At long last. Hello,
Yes.
hello. Welcome to the Balancing Act podcast. I'm Jamie Wonko here with Mr. Joseph Vitale. Hello.
Hello, how are you, friend? We are in the throes of yet another long winter season, but here we are. So, funsy.
How's your snowblower?
My snowblower is amazing. Shout out to a young man from Gotta Love Facebook Marketplace, whatever, Facebook Moms, whatever it is. And thankfully, I had a young man come and help me fix the carburetor, which was amazing. It was a funny joke. We did not murder each other, so it's great. Because you don't want that to happen via
You never
Facebook.
know who you're going to meet on the interwebs.
Yeah, you never know who you're going to meet. So yeah, it's good. We got the snowblower working. New carburetor, little learning experience for me to figure out how everything goes and how everything works and all the things.
Okay.
Yeah, luckily I try to pay it forward in my neighborhood because I have some elderly neighbors and I try to help them out, and because people help out my parents across town because they really can't be out there shoveling and doing things themselves due to their own health issues. So I'm appreciative of the fact that other people help my parents. So I try to make sure that the snowblower gets lots of use and helps as many people as possible. So, and my lovely neighbors next door who are Filipino made me a delicious Filipino soup, which was
Do you know what it's
great.
called?
I do not know what it's called. It is blazing hot and it has ginger in it. So it's
Hot, spicy hot?
no, hot isn't like temperature hot. I took
Got it. Okay.
I was like, ooh, let me try this. And I was like, I burned my mouth. So that then it's good. So yeah, they're very appreciative and they're awesome. And just trying to help as many people as possible. So but as usual, I'm over it. I'm over it. Winter can go scratch. I'm done.
I hate that expression.
Yeah, I know you hate that expression, but like it's one of those I got to throw out there.
Go scratch and like someone saying like take a pee. I can't even say it. I don't know. Instead of like just like I have to pee, that I can get over.
Oh, I don't like that one
But,
either.
like,
Yeah.
No, not for me.
No.
So you didn't want to, just go make snow angels and
No, I did not. I wanted nothing. I'm not a let's go play in the snow person, which is kind of funny because like I used to ski and like go out and like do things, but now, no, I don't want anything to do with it.
Skiing, yeah, not for me.
Not for you? Never did it?
I went once back in the 90s with a club at school, and it was so icy, and most of us just did was fall.
Oh yeah.
Just slip slide, and they took us on like a Friday at like 5:00. So it was dark and cold and icy, and I guess not like the optimal skiing experience. I did have a very good friend who was really good at skiing and would teach ski lessons and things like that. And he was always like, come on, I can. And I was like, no, thank you. If it's on water, yes. If it's from the sea, it's for me. But no,
Well,
thank you.
You know what doesn't slip slide around? That would be our presenting sponsor, Teachers Insurance Plan. So yeah, our season 3 presenting sponsor, as we are into our episode, we want to make sure we shout them out.
Season 3 is brought to you by our presenting sponsor, Teachers Insurance Plan. Check out their website below for more information and to get a quote. Teachers Insurance Plan, auto insurance that brings exclusive educator savings and exceptional customer care to New Jersey and Pennsylvania educational employees.
And speaking of Teachers Insurance
Just like
Plan,
me.
just like you, I mean, I gotta, I am in the presence of a TV star. I'm very in awe right now. I'm very flush. I'm very nervous. Somebody I know is now in a commercial for Teachers
Customer testimonial.
A customer testimonial.
We have a 30-second version, a 60-second version, or a 90-second version. Do you have a favorite version?
All of them. There could possibly not be a favorite version. The one that has Jason in it the most is the one that I like.
Your favorite?
Yeah, just because my dude's got sleeves on, and I'm just not used to it. I'm not used to the sleeves.
It was a lot. It was a great day as a family. It was a lot of fun. And I think that that's something that I'll have, forever. It's like a memory of like the, space and time of the ages. And, it was really so well put together. And it really featured Drew, which is so interesting because he is not an on camera presence. But it's pretty remarkable. I think because when your children are growing up, they're you see them every single day and every single day. And then there are these moments as they get a little bit older where you like notice the change and it's so subtle and it happens over time that you sometimes are too close to it to recognize it.
Exactly.
And there's been some moments over the last few months, especially with him, where I'm able to I'm like, wow, you really are like a grown up person. And some of the things that were so difficult for him as a younger person are now, like they had senior night and everybody had to make a speech. And, his like ability to get up and stand confidently in front of, 100 people and
That's great.
talk was just,
It was
awesome.
And it was senior night for the swim team, correct? You hadn't mentioned which one it was because I know he's in band, he's in swim, so
Yes. No.
yeah.
Yeah. For swim season. Band is full year, so we don't do any of those wrap up situations until June for that. But for swim, the season is over, and so they have like a big banquet in a couple of weeks, and I'm sure that they'll speak again. But so they had this moment to speak, and each of them had to say what they learned from their experience on the swim team, and also some of their favorite memories. And they also had to share their plans for the future.
Oh, that's great.
And and so it was really special to see. Well, our kids happen to be in a gigantic class.
Yes.
Right. There's so many kids in their graduating class compared to some of the other classes. So it's really like it does make sense that, when he was finishing up the season, we had like a senior night at the football game to honor like at the last football game. And there are 13 seniors that are a part of marching band. And then for swim team, there's 9. So the numbers are pretty big like compared to some of the other grades, which, is on par for the amount of kids in their grade. And it was just so cool, like to see, and just to watch other people's kids. There's been, some kids that he's been on, these teams with or these organizations for 4 years. And some of them, are from kindergarten. So to see other people enjoying like your children is so lovely. It really just speaks to the community, and then also to be able to sort of delight in other people's children is remarkable because you remember them at 5 and 6 years old, and then to see them growing into themselves it's an awesome experience, I think.
Yeah, that sounds really great. And I did see, he does his nice little featurette, I guess you would say, in the commercial. He's got like a part where he reads and talks about how expensive
well, he wasn't reading.
No, I know. He was that was this whole
that was him speaking. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys too, right? I mean, it was all off the cuff and
it was just
stuff like that.
there were some questions that we were asked, and then those were our genuine responses. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't scripted.
No, and I think you guys it's very, very well done.
Thank you. I mean, I wish it would be a national spot. I feel like, come on, let's go, get us out there. My girls were very upset that they didn't have any, like none of their speaking parts came to be because they're like the most camera friendly of everybody in the house.
Yes, they are.
So they were slightly disappointed, and of course, like, and this is just so funny. I had heard like that it was getting ready, like the editing process had almost been completed, and then of course, as any teacher knows, who's the first to see it? Your students.
Yeah.
And so the kids at school actually were the ones who said, like, Mrs. Wonko, I saw your family on TV. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Because TV to them is YouTube. But, so it was really funny. And a lot of them have found us on this podcast also.
They have. And what's really interesting is there's sometimes like I'll be walking through the hallway and they're like, wow, so yeah, TikTok. And I'm like, no autographs. Just being a sarcastic
just being an
jerk.
influencer.
And like it's a public show, and all our opinions are our own, and we don't talk about things that are political or controversial, but we talk about things that are our takes, and we talk about our families, and we talk about things that we're passionate about.
Yeah.
So I'm actually excited that they have found it. Like, yeah, do I want them to see me dancing? No, but you make me do it under the
I mean, they
guise
see
of
me dancing all the time in class, so it's not really that
yeah,
much different.
yeah.
Other
Um,
but
Listen, and
they, yeah, yeah.
the ones that had me know that I'm out of my mind because I
Well,
do all the
of course.
things.
We've met. If
Yeah,
we've met you, then you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm still like I to me, I was so angry that I got sick right before Christmas break because like we had Spirit Weeks and I had so many plans. There was like a dress like a movie character day, and I was going to be a Christmas tree farmer from a small town who falls in love with a big city lawyer from a Hallmark movie. From a made-up Hallmark movie called Pine and Punishment. And yes, I used ChatGPT to take my wife and I and make us into like movie characters on a movie poster, and I had them ready to hang up around the building. Like that was going to be like my thing.
Wow, that was a lot.
I mean, there was, listen,
I hope you do that next year.
when I
I know
go
you don't
in,
halfway. You always have a lot of a
yeah,
lot of accessories. You have a
there's
lot
a
of
lot of
props.
accessories.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Snacks.
Listen,
You go all out with
yeah, when
whatever
you're,
it might be.
I mean, if you're snack captain, you got to come
Do not take
correct.
it seriously.
Yeah, I do take it seriously.
You don't do
Like
anything halfway. I get it.
no, I am so ready for like dress. We're going to do like swap day where it's like dress like a student day. I have so many plans.
Yes.
So many plans. Like, and that was one of my favorite days of the year last year because I walked around with like, I had a wig with like the curly hair. So I looked like the alpaca, like kind of like my son. My son has that haircut.
It's not a perm.
No, it's not, which is so amazing to me. Like all of a sudden he was like, he just grew it out and it's like, bloop. That's the way his hair was.
My hair's curly.
Yeah. God bless him. So yeah, I enjoy
I
stuff
think
like
it's
that.
cute when they notice, and
Yeah.
such a big part of their world is online, and it's almost like the new version of you see your teacher in the supermarket and you can't believe they're in the supermarket.
Yes.
Like, what are you doing here? And I kind of feel
Mhm.
like it's a very similar reaction to like my teachers are on the internet. Like, what are you guys doing here? We didn't know you knew there was an internet,
Yeah.
And so I
Look,
think it's great. And it's all, I
look,
mean, and I say to them, like, it's G rated. You may
yeah.
not like it that much. There's
No.
nothing like, it's about teaching. It's about what we do. It's about our lives. And there is nothing that we're talking about that you can't listen to.
No.
There's
No.
nothing secretive. It's not, and then they're like, yeah.
Well,
Wah,
there's been a little like people liking our posts, like maybe like reposting our posts. Yeah, I'm sure somewhere there's some kind of thread where it takes our what we talk about, puts fart noises under it, and puts it out on the internet. It's like
You think?
I'm sure.
I don't know if people have that.
Somewhere.
I don't know if they have that much time or
energy or bandwidth to
Yeah.
put into it. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
But I mean, nobody's been mean. Let's put it that way. Everybody's been nice
not
so
to our,
far.
I mean, not to our faces.
Yeah. So like, shout out to any of our any students who have found us. So
Right. Here we are. We were
look,
never lost,
No, we were.
We knew where we were the whole time.
Yes, we were, and we appreciate you for finding us.
We do. No, we will not follow you back.
No, we will not follow you back.
No, of course
There will
not.
be none of that. There's a lot of like, oh, you follow us back, and our district does have policies regarding stuff like that, but that's not our jam. We don't want to be following you back. And
Like, we don't follow anybody. We're exclusive.
Yes.
Who's the one like that doesn't follow anyone except for like it's like Kentucky? Is it Kentucky Fried Chicken?
I was just gonna say,
right, like
Kentucky,
that's funny.
Kentucky Fried Chicken follows 11 guys named Herb and the Spice Girls for 11 herbs and spices. Like that's who they follow, and that's it. Which I am all for it. And I'm all for the comedy that surrounds following 11 guys named. Who knew there were 11 guys named Herb on the internet?
I bet there's got to be lots more.
I'm sure there are.
Right?
I don't think they make those guys much anymore. Like they don't make herbs, like because
Not the way they used to.
it's an old name. That's an old name.
It
So,
is.
so yeah, we're we're plugging along with our season here, and it's hard to believe we're like pretty much halfway through it. As we not only move through halfway through the school year, And now like lots of things are happening. Our kids are ending their semester. They're starting a new semester. It's prom talk. It's prom weekend. It's what college are they going to go to? All those things. So the exciting stuff is happening. It's going very quickly.
It is. Should we do like a little mid-year update?
Sure.
A little mid-year update of how things are going.
Yeah.
I have been having lots and lots of chats with different parents whose children are older than mine or different experiences that they've had for, how you narrow down some of the difficult choices. So how do you take what your original list was? And I remember when we had Jen on and she was the college advice, counselor, expert,
Yes.
all the things, right? And I remember her saying, don't apply anywhere that you don't like 100% want to go to.
Yes.
And I remember at the time thinking like that sounds like great advice that I'm not going to follow.
Same. So my children applied to a number of places that they had not seen, knowing that they have reputations that are good for the programs that they were looking to go into. And like, I guess demographically, size wise, they were comparable to the schools that they liked. And we thought like, okay, if they don't get into the schools that are like on the top of their list, we have those to then look into if they were to get in or not get in. So we didn't really follow that advice either, but it's also so easy to, I don't want to say it's easy to apply, but it's kind of easy for them to, it's like check a box and off it goes.
Yes.
And a lot of these schools have waivers and coupons and this and that. It's free. It's pulled this in. And so it's not like that much of an expense. And even if they're not overly expensive to apply to a school if you're interested in attending that school. So
right. We paid for one of the 7. I know we had to pay for one. We had codes for the rest of them, but which I thought was fair and decent and all of that. I've read a lot about people feeling, a lot of adults having feelings about the Common App making the process more difficult and confusing because of the ease in which the kids can apply. So what they're doing is they're getting so many more kids applying to places that they really aren't like completely drawn to, and then taking spots away from other kids who are, see what I'm saying?
yeah, no, I do. I'm thinking as you're talking, I think that there's definitely some of that, but we're not, I guess we're speculating, right? Because we're not really on that side of the fence because we're not in those schools.
I mean, when
I
know is when I filled it out on a booklet and had to write and write and write and redo and redo, and every single time you started from scratch, rather than you have one essay, maybe 2, and you're just sort of reusing each of those sections over and over again. It is incredibly easy to apply, even if there is very little interest in going somewhere.
Agreed. I'm trying to think of the word. It's not ambiguous. It's like, it's very like they apply and some of the directions are very like, they're vague for one. I think like, cause some schools are like, submit your SAT, but only if you blah, 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 or like, or it's like, submit your transcript or 1 letter of recommendation. Nope. You need 2 letters of recommendation. Nope. You can't have from a teacher. It's got to be from a guidance counselor. And it's just like,
yes,
even though it's common for all the schools, there are still intricacies in each specific school and also by specific program, which also makes sense. Like if you want to get into a very competitive pharmaceutical program, like there should be additional steps for you, an additional essay, more tests you have to, whatever it is, right? My kids aren't going into that. So that's not anything that we were looking into, but it's definitely, there are extra essays and things like that they were navigating and trying to figure out about, which schools to submit what to and whether or not it was the best practice or not. Like there's no place to really go that's like the definitive answer of like, here's what you should do.
No.
So
And I suppose that's why people do pay for services like Jen through Educational Connections, because she would eliminate many of
yeah,
those questions, right? And many of those obstacles or confusions or anything else. And I've also read quite a bit of, I hate to say like trash talk, but dumping on of guidance counselors,
yeah.
particularly in the high school. So what I did was I joined quite a bit of groups on Facebook in particular, and so it was, questions and guidance, in that sort of realm, right? And like college bound parent group, blah blah blah. So
Students, if you're listening, Facebook is old people internet. I don't know if you knew that.
yes, yes. I'll never forget my girlfriend Jenny saying, "Oh, there's this new thing called Instagram," and I was like,
Ooh,
"Instagram? What's this? What do we need this for?" And she was like, "It's like Facebook without the drama."
oh,
And that was like
got
her
it.
exact description. Now this was like, a really, and now I'm thinking we don't need many of them, but we all have many of them.
Yes.
And I do, and it is true of Instagram. Like there is a lot less people kind of are like, it's a little bit easier to creep, I think, and not get so involved with the talk back and forth and back and forth. But what I did find very useful, and believe me, I'm in some groups on Facebook that helped me immensely. I was in a mom's group on Facebook for a very long time that I could ask basically anything and get like wonderful feedback in immediately of like what I should do and how I should handle something.
Mhm.
And I'm in a group, for a support group for families of people who have a family member that is suffering from parasubnuclear palsy, which is what my mom has. And so those types of groups help me. I can't say enough positive things about that.
That's
But
great.
for this, it was, geez, we're really dumping a lot on the guidance counselors, and I just don't know if it's a reasonable expectation that one person is going to be able to guide 250 kids in the college process
Well, no. That's number
while doing
one.
all their while doing their job for all the other grades and students that they have, while doing all the scheduling, while helping someone whose, boyfriend broke up with them and is going through a terrible traumatic, like you're constantly doing other things besides just guiding those kids for college. It just
Yeah.
seems like it's another example of, in education, I think, like a very unreasonable expectations for one person. It mirrors teaching in that way,
Oh
because
yeah.
we have so many unreasonable expectations of how many questions you can answer and how many things you can do. And, oh, just take this, hurry up, do this affirmative action. And then real quick, just take this one and then get ready for a PD half day, but then make sure you have a test, but your test can't be on a Google form because we want you to have it on paper, and make sure everyone's standing up more. And it's right. So I do
No,
feel like
you're
a
not wrong.
solidarity with the guidance counselors of like, what? How
Well,
could you?
we go back to Jen Foldberry, who was on with us.
Yes.
That before she was working for Educational Connections, she was working in a school, and her job was to navigate that. Like just do the college navigation application, college counseling type of stuff. Like that's where it needs to go, because those kids, especially at a certain point, need more career counseling than they do what class to take and
Yes.
when. But you're right. At the same time, the landscape is constantly changing in regards
Right.
to what's expected of the students when they're applying,
Right.
and what the standards are that they're looking for, so on and so forth. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's just this, you're right. There's a unreasonable set of expectations across the board
Right.
for, we could go from the top down, right? From principals to guidance counselors to substance abuse counselors to child study team members. We're constantly, especially in education, it's like, let's cut a position, let's cut a position, let's cut a position, and then let's absorb their job into someone else. And then that just dilutes and waters down everything. But
Right.
then there's no necessary go-to person for any particular important aspect, especially this. Now we're also, it's very, I don't want to say it's niche for us, because a lot of kids wind up going to college, but like this is the time period that they go through that, right? Yes, they go through middle school and early years of high school, where they're like talking about college track and college and career readiness and the things that they're going to need when they get into college and when they graduate and things like that, right? So, but it's when they're juniors and seniors that a lot of the important stuff starts to happen, right? So we're living in that now, and
Yes.
that's where I think those guidance counselors could use somebody, or districts could use someone that this is their job to
Yes.
focus on these specific things, especially because those are the numbers that, for the most part, school districts like to hang their hat on, right?
course,
Oh, we had this many
yes.
kids go to this college. We had this many kids go to trade schools, which is amazing.
Absolutely. Yes.
We had this many kids going to the military.
Yes.
Absolutely. The most honorable profession one could do is in service of one's country. Those are things that we should be championing and hanging our hat on. But I think somebody needs to be there for these kids, because a lot of parents, we have it, right? Like, we're trying to navigate. You're joining a Facebook group. We're talking to, this person, that counselor. My wife works at college. Like, we're talking to people to help us with navigate all these things. But like, there are kids that don't have an us. There are kids that are doing this themselves. They might be first generation college students. They might be, kids that are trying to navigate this landscape all on their own, which is a huge detriment. Like, they don't have the extra stepping stones that certain kids do.
Yeah. And my other question is, how do you pay for it?
What do you mean?
How do you pay for it? How will we pay for it?
College or?
Yeah. So my
Oh,
other
yeah.
my other issue is,
Yeah.
in part of these groups as well, is, well, my child applied, my child got into their dream school. My child's dream school is $85,000 a year. And now I have to tell them they can't afford to go there.
See, that I have mixed feelings about that.
Right.
I really,
why'd you let it go so far?
there you go. I mean, there's got to be a realistic conversation about, hey, and we've had these conversations with our kids. We've said, like, hey, it's great that you might be interested in this school, but we don't have $80,000 a year, live this far out of state airplane money for you to fly back and forth to come home. Like we don't have it.
Right.
Like, we are trying to modestly prepare our children for college. We are trying to do things like, save and invest and things like that. And, they've, see what scholarships they get, see what merit scholarships they get, what opportunities might be available to them in regards to loans for things that they're what might pay for.
So where do you look for that?
Where do you look for what?
How do you know?
All right. So like the merit scholarships, that all comes when they get their
yes.
their offers, right?
Offers,
Yeah, you're accepted.
From most schools, right? Some
Yeah.
schools wait a little bit and send it
Yeah.
later. Okay. So now you're looking at, in New Jersey, I would say like a pretty reasonable school. Even if they throw a little bit of money at them, let's say you're looking at $30,000 a year.
Yes. Okay.
What
So
do they do to get $30,000 to pay?
well, we've been saving for a while, right?
I don't just mean your kids. I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
theoretically, what does one do if they don't have any savings?
Well, I don't know.
Because that would be $120,000 that someone has saved for you.
Yeah. Which we have not saved that.
So what? We have not. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Like, where do people go? What do they do?
So I know that there's opportunities for students, for example, if they get a job in a career where they're working in the public sector after a period of 10 years, there's loan forgiveness, right? So after
But I bet
graduation,
there's a cap now on how much money they can borrow.
there is the cap on how much money they can borrow. Yes.
Right.
I do not know right now what that cap is.
Right.
Which is another question that we have to find out.
Yeah.
All the more reason why, like, we have finance people that we ask these questions of, right? Like, for us, we, like, our school district has financial groups that come in that we talk to, and that's what we're going to wind up doing. So we can have
Right.
those conversations about what's the best
Figure it
option
out.
for our children. But
Right.
I don't know what kids do who don't have those resources available to them.
Yeah. I know the federal loan is capped now at $5,500, and I believe it's something that needs to be paid back at the end of each year. And now there are different plans in place for for kids to be able to take some loans in their own names, and then parents would have to co-sign on those loans as well. So it's just a process of, I think, annoyance and anguish in some ways. We were just talking with our senior, and my husband says, "Look, like, this was part of you." He was getting annoyed, as, like, a 17-year-old would get annoyed, and I was getting annoyed, and my husband was getting annoyed, and everyone was annoyed.
So
We
were
weren't
they
necessarily
annoyed?
annoyed. We weren't annoyed with each other. I think we were just more annoyed with the system.
There's
Because the
some of that, yeah.
system, right? The system says, like, here you are, mom and dad, who work hard every day and have been doing, what you're quote unquote supposed to be doing. And you're trying your best for your kids, and you're both teachers, and you should have more money, but you don't because you live in a really expensive state. And now you want your child to go to school, and they've also been working and working and working and doing everything that they were also told that they were supposed to do. And there's not $30,000 a year to go to a reasonable school.
Mhm.
What do you do?
Yeah.
Right? So, like, what are we doing? And I think that a lot of people are like, yeah, they just have to take a loan.
Which is
I'm
what a lot of
having
kids
a
wind up doing.
very difficult time with that.
Can I ask why? Like
I
like
didn't do it.
it was a different time for us. I didn't do it either.
Yeah.
Um,
But why
so
why do we have to accept it was a different time? Like, I feel like these are just, like, some things that, like, these are the lies that people tell us, and it's like, why are we all collectively buying into this? Like, why has it gotten so expensive? Why is it, like, just, "Oh, that's just how it has to be." Why?
it has gotten astronomically more expensive and not as affordable as even when we went, when it kind of started, and we didn't have like the college. Like, again, I went to TCNJ.
Wait,
I
so
went to
how did you pay to go to TCNJ and live there?
well, I think the first thing that helped me um, being able to go there and handle the tuition was the fact that I went to community college first and got my prerequisites done, the vast majority of them, before I transferred into the school that I wanted to go to. Because community college at the time, it still is, decidedly more affordable if you're undecided, right? And it's not that I was undecided, and I've talked about my journey
Yeah.
before, and it was just something that I decided to do. And I went and I took the prerequisite
Right,
classes. It
but
was a
let's say
lot
you
cheaper.
hadn't, because you were at West Virginia. Did your parents have, because my parents did not have money for me to go and live away at school, which is why I did not. So it wasn't a different time, like, in my house. I'm just curious, like, did your parents have, like, whatever it was gonna, I mean, I wanna say, like, a few of the schools, it's like, oh, room and board and fees and books is about $19,000 a year.
Hmm.
So, like, to live in, like, a concrete room and eat and have books and taxes and fees, it's $19,000,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna pay $8,000 for your tuition, but it's $19,000. What? What?
Yeah.
I know that I am not the only person who, like, has looked at this and thought, like, "Huh?" But why is it that, like, there is this idea that, like, you're robbing your child of, like, some wonderful, glorious thing that's gonna happen, like, they're not gonna be whole if they can't go and do that, even if it costs them $80,000 in a loan to do it.
Hmm. I I'm how do I say it? I'm just trying to think about what I'm wanting to say as I'm trying to put my thoughts together.
Yeah, and I'm not saying this to you, right? I'm
No, I
saying
know.
this, like, out in the world of, like, there's plenty of people that are in this situation,
Well,
I
we go back to your original scenario, right? It's like, oh, they got into their dream school for $80,000, and now I have to tell them that they can't go and they can't
Well, no,
afford
but
it.
I'm saying like the
Like,
dream school for us is not $80,000. Like the dream schools and even just the average, like, yeah, that seems pretty good school is $30,000 a year.
yeah. I also try to, and what I try to do is weigh the look at the reputation of the individual schools that they've applied to, and it's like, okay, when they graduate from this school with being successful and having, which is not a guarantee, but my kids are putting in the work and working hard and getting their, you know, graduating, when they have their diploma from that school, when they go on the job search, does it give them an additional foot in the door? And in certain cases, some of the schools that they're looking at, I think the answer to that is yes, where they look at certain candidates from certain schools more because they have a better reputation in regards to their academic program, or like the teacher preparedness programs that students come out with. Like for example, Towson is one of the schools that my kids have been looking at, and they are the #1 teaching college in the state of Maryland. If one graduates with a degree there, it normally holds more weight because it is a very well known and has a great reputation. So is that worth the additional money that one might pay to go to that school versus one that is $20,000
Yeah. I
versus
don't know.
staying home
I
and
don't know.
commuting?
I'm not saying I just don't. I'm having a very, very difficult time with I'm remembering how I felt when I was that age. And I'm remembering very much how annoyed and aggravated I was. And,
And
I
you were
just
annoyed and aggravated because you wanted to go away somewhere,
I wanted
or
to go away. Yeah. I wanted to go and live away.
okay, and your
Yeah.
parents said no.
Well, they said you can do it, but you have to take a loan.
Yeah.
And I chose not to.
Okay.
Right.
That was your choice. I mean, and on the same situation could be available to your son. Hey, you can do that, but you have to
I
take out a
know, but
loan.
I didn't, and it was good. So it's hard for me to be like, you should,
Yeah.
because like, why not? And also, yeah, so I'm really wrestling with, and we recently had a talk with someone who was saying to him, and I thought it was really great. Like, this is one of the times in your life of the greatest comparison. Everyone is going to be looking at each other and trying to hold themselves up to what they think is the standard. And that is something you are going to have to deal with very seriously over the
Yeah.
next few months. And as best as you possibly can, stay out of that.
Yeah.
And there could be no truer advice. I mean, really pure and correct, and yet seemingly impossible.
Well, and this is, I think, how we have to navigate and balance this as parents, right? Like
Yes.
having these conversations is very important. Talking to other parents that you feel have similar views as you would also be a good avenue to go on. Um, Joining groups, like you said, on Facebook to hear what other people are saying,
Right.
which you have to take with a little grain of salt, right?
Of
Because you
course,
never
but
know. You never
yes,
know
I mean,
who's
there's
on the
always
opposite side of the
always a
keyboard.
little wacky, but a lot of it
Um,
is good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and that may be the most difficult thing that you and I right now are, like you just said, like, oh, kids are going to be comparing themselves to one another. We're going to do it as parents, and we need to stay out of that, right? Like, I'm not comparing my child to yours. Wherever your child goes and what I've said to my own children is that is going to be the environment for them where they're going to be the most successful. That's what I want for them, right? I want them to choose a place that's going to be the most successful for them.
Right.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
So, and as parents, it might be difficult for us to stay out of that. I also think that
I can't stay out of it.
yeah,
I can't stay out of it because you're asking someone who is like, whose brain is still developing to make a decision of whether or not $100,000 worth of debt is like that big of a deal or not, because like they're going to be most happy somewhere. So
mhm,
like, that's what I go back and forth with of like, I feel like 5 minutes ago, I was still like teaching you how to tie your shoes, but like, it's cool, because you're not you can't fathom how long it would take you to dig out of that type of debt.
Yeah.
And then it's also like, God, I feel crappy because like, why don't I have more to give you? So it's like this endless cycle of feeling like just should I have had how come I don't have more to give you? I wish that I did, but also I don't, but also you're far better off than like so many other people, so
Yes.
then it's like we are grateful and we are, really so thankful for all the things that we do have and all the blessings that we have, so it's like you're kind of stuck in this really strange place to be in this
Yeah.
little mid-year checkup that we're doing,
As we record this, none of our children have decided where they're going.
No.
They've
Uh-uh.
heard from the vast majority of the schools that they've applied to, and now
Yes.
they're trying to figure it out.
Yes. I mean, the best we've got right now is like narrowing it down to your top 3.
Yes.
And then weeding through, what they have to offer, is which one is the strongest for the program that you're, choosing to do. And, and then of course the other part is too, is that now so many jobs require a master's or sometimes a doctorate, depending on what it is, so then it's also weighing, how does that set you up for year 5 or 6, depending on, what the program might be,
Yeah.
And that's for so many. I mean, even education, there were like all those people that came out of Rutgers with a 5-year degree, and I only had a 4-year degree. There were so many there's lots of that still happening,
I don't think that gives them a leg up into the classroom. I don't. That's just me.
Right.
Like, I think it's great that they have a master's degree, but I think from a fiscal responsibility, like, yeah, it's great that your teachers have advanced degrees, but when a school district hires you, they're paying for that. Like,
Right.
you're like, over the life of your career, you'll make more money because you have that advanced degree versus
Right.
someone who doesn't.
Right.
But the school district is also on the hook more. Do they really want to put that into you? And I that's what I experienced when my wife and I moved to Pennsylvania for a little while, and I was looking at districts in Pennsylvania to try and find a job. It's like, you could hire me, who has 11, 12 years experience, and you have to pay me based on that pay scale, or you can hire, Joe Schmo from Oklahoma,
22-year-old Joe, right?
who just graduated from college, and pay him on the base scale.
Right.
Also, I'm teaching a subject that's not a tested area. Now, if I were teaching math, you might want me because
Different story, yeah.
It's a different story. So, and I don't know what the best route, what the best avenue is. I have my opinions on, the kids' schools that they've looked at. I don't have anything negative to say about any of them. I just know that if they're looking for something particular in a certain school, I know where they would find that and where they wouldn't. And I don't want them to be unhappy. But I also want them to know, like, if they get into a point where they're there for a year and it's not for them,
they can leave.
I want them to know that they can leave. And I think that that's something that's important for all of them to know. I don't know if you're going to have the same conversation with your son, but it would be like, hey,
we have. Oh yeah.
So hey, you go there for a year and you get to the end of it. And my daughter's gotten hung up on that. Like, oh, I got to start. And I was like, oh, and like, we're like, Sophia, you're literally sitting in a room with 2 adults who did not finish where they started.
Right.
Like, we didn't finish my wife didn't finish where she started. I didn't finish where I started. And it wasn't because like we failed out. It's just like things change. Things, you're going to see that. You are going to see that. You're going to have your graduating class. You're going to have people that are going to go somewhere. And then all of a sudden it's going to be like, this is not the right fit for me. Just because you think it is now doesn't mean it's going to be the right fit for you.
4 years from now.
4 years, or maybe it is.
Yeah.
So,
well, I guess the fact that we are worrying about any of this just shows how hard we try as parents, and the concern and the love that we have. And one thing, as much as we worry, one thing we don't have to worry about is our season 3 sponsor.
Our season 3 sponsor, Teachers Insurance Plan. Teachers Insurance Plan by the way, is awesome. And I just feel like I can't do the ad read because you're a commercial person. Like,
I mean,
I'm an amateur, you are a professional. That's the way it has to be. So
Season 3 is brought to you by our presenting sponsor, Teachers Insurance Plan. Check out their website below. We'll tag it for you for more information and to get a quote. Teachers Insurance Plan, auto insurance that brings exclusive educator savings and exceptional customer care to New Jersey and Pennsylvania educational employees.
That is great. I will need you to autograph my Teachers Insurance Plan polo.
And your lunch bag?
And my lunch bag. You'll have to autograph my lunch bag for sure. But yeah, we'll continue to update everybody on what's going on with this that's the biggest journey that we're on right now.
It is all consuming in a lot of ways.
It is all consuming.
Yes, and next up, scholarship season. So woohoo!
Yay! It's never gonna end. But yeah, we'll see everybody next time, where we probably still will be talking about this on the Balancing Act podcast.
Look for the Balancing Act podcast every week on your favorite podcast platform. New episodes drop every Tuesday. Thank you for being a part of our audience. We appreciate you.